Hello and welcome again to Embodied Engagement, and this is our Teen at the MAM version. So you can see some friends who are in our teen program here on Wednesdays joining. Today we are in the Frost Gallery to look at the Nicholas Galanin work called, I think it goes like this, In Gold. Nicholas is a Tlingit artist based in Sitka, Alaska, and the work is a gilded Indonesian manufactured totem pole that is usually used as a gift or kind of tchotchke sold in gift stores in Sitka. So for today, I'm going to invite you to bring something to draw with, something to write on, so that we can engage with this work using our own artistic creativity. In acknowledgement, MAM sits on the ancestral territories of the Salish and Pondere people. We respect the indigenous stewards of this land. MAM acknowledges these rich cultures as fundamental to artistic life in Montana and to the work of the Missoula Art Museum. So as I'm reflecting on this land acknowledgement, I tend to think of all the places that I have inhabited here in the lower 48. I grew up in Philadelphia, which means that I was residing on traditional Lenape lands. I moved to Asheville, North Carolina, traditional Cherokee, moving to Wyoming and on the Cheyenne and Eastern Shoshone, and now here, residing in Missoula. As Galanin's work reminds us, if we are not indigenous to the land, what has our worldview of our place where we inhabit been? Do we, like the sculpture, gilded, that which is not in essence precious? So this totem, again, is manufactured in Indonesia, and then Galanin has gilded it and deconstructed it. My question for you is, what are steps that we can take today to reconstruct our own worldview, our own sense of place? And so that we can acknowledge the place where we inhabit. Galanin's Tlingit culture language is an oral tradition that's passed through story. As artists, we use our art as a form of language, our way of communicating. I think we can all agree that that's what we're doing when we come and we make art. We're trying to identify something that's within ourselves that we're trying to share that maybe we can't use words to identify. What and how do you use your language? How do you use your art? Are you concerned with perfectionism? Making sure that everything is in its right place? When you see a work or a production, what do you see? Like on YouTube, what is it that you're looking at, and what do you imagine? Can you imagine that these YouTube videos took hours and hours and hours to make, that there's so much imperfection that goes into its final production? Can you think of a time for yourself when you've gone through error and then progress, construction, deconstruction, and failure? So here with this piece of work, this was actually put together by the curator and not the artist. So it was shipped here from another space, and it was the curator's view of how to make this kind of beautiful mess. And I'm wondering if that changes how you view it. So what we're going to do is our art here is a breath and movement with blind contour. Are you all familiar with blind contour? Has anyone ever done blind contour drawing before? Some of us have, yeah. So blind contour drawing is when we have our blank piece of paper, and rather than trying to sketch like all the individual pieces. We just keep the pencil on the page and just let our eyes follow. Yeah, have you done it? Yeah. So what I'm gonna invite you to do is just take a moment, and so I'm gonna lead you through this in a little bit more special way rather than just popping right in. So I'm gonna ask you to pick up your pen and have your work, your paper in your lap. And close your eyes. And let the tip of the pen or the pencil just sit on somewhere on the page, it doesn't matter where. And just notice right now how you're feeling. Notice if you have some anxiety or excitement. Become aware of the breath in the body. Is it high and tight in the chest? Or are you able to take a nice deep inhale and exhale? Starting to fill into the belly and then settle into your bottom, allowing the body to settle down. Try and envision the heaviness of our deconstructed totem pole. Maybe imagine the weight of each and every piece and the work that it took to construct it. Start to feel the textures. Maybe envisioning how the curator or the artist, whomever has been working with it, probably got a splinter. So this work is not smooth, but rough. There are angles and sharp edges. Another inhale and exhale. And just mildly let your pencil start to drift across the page. You can keep the eyes closed for the next couple of breaths as you get used to moving the pencil with your breath. Inhaling, keeping the pencil tip connected to the page, and exhaling. Start to feel the movement of breath through the body, maybe making the pencil drift further away and then closer again. When you start to feel comfortable with this gliding, thinking about how, rather than this perfectionism of creating an art piece that is exacting, start to feel the emotion of breaking down. Your connection to the land and the way that you want to communicate through your art. What is your language today? Within your own time, without worrying about what other people are doing or whether it's correct. Maybe blink the eyes open and allow your gaze to land onto one piece of this art. Still keeping the pencil where it is. Focus the eyes. And then, using just your sight, follow the lines of the artwork with your pencil drifting across the page. Becoming aware of reflection and fissures. Crevices where the gold is smooth or cracked. And recalling that this is not precious. What makes it precious is the language of the artist. Recall the breath moving through the body. Sensing the weight of your own body. And see if you can spend 5 more connected inhales and exhales. contouring the lines. And when you feel ready, go ahead and let the pencil drop back down. And just take a moment to check out what it is that you made. Maybe seeing something new or different. And then I'll invite you to use this as your own jumping off point, perhaps wanting to fill in different parts or draw it again in a different way. Or maybe wanting to use a new material, whether that's carving, like our artist has carved, or painting as the artist here has painted. Take another moment just to look, reflecting on our last few moments together. So we talked about our land, construction and deconstruction, and most essentially, the language of your own art. Feel free to repeat this practice a couple of times. Anytime that you're interested in finding a new way to look at an object, you can always do your blind contour drawing. Or maybe invite this practice into the next piece at the Missoula Art Museum that you're interested in checking out. Thank you for joining. Thank you all for participating. Have a great day.